YouTube. This will probably be one of the only videos of this particular amp, which will be on YouTube. It's a custom sound, although there's a sticker on the front over where it says custom sound. It says so on the back. I'll have a look in the back and see what the model number is in a minute. This came, my pal bought an Aria Pro 2 TA40, sort of 335 thing, and it came with a hard case and an amp. So we've got two 10-inch speakers. It's actually got a sticker on the front from Roadshow Music Stirling, which I think I know where it is. I think it's kind of down a wee alleyway round the back. I seem to remember they had a West Tone Thunder when I was there 3-4 years ago, something like that. So I think that might be that place. Gain, I think I'd imagine somebody's made these. You can't see it. There's metal plates here, which I think someone's made, not with a Dymo labeler, but with something like that for gain, bass, mid, treble, reverb, and output. I think it's 35 watts, but I'll have a look in the back once I've played through it a bit. Two 10-inch speakers. I thought it was a much bigger amp than it was. It's quite heavy and it's quite chunky, but I think that's maybe just because it's quite old. I think it's maybe late 70s, something like that. So I'm using my Ibanez Blazer. It's a BL 500, I think, 1981. Can't remember exactly which one it is. So a Strat sort of things. Now, interesting, I've got the volume up quite high on this. I'll put the gain at 12 o'clock and the volume at 12 o'clock. And not very loud, so I'm going to put the gain up at 3 o'clock. That's me get the bass up a little bit as well. If I put the bass at nothing. So we're kind of running more than half on the gain, or 3/4 on the gain, and well, 3/4 on the volume now. But I think that maybe that's just because they're old pots. I'm on position 4, by the way. So it's got a reverb tank in it, I think. Put the reverb up at full just to see how far it goes. I don't ever use reverb, so I'll just turn the reverb off. I think that's a pretty good clean sound. Suits this guitar anyway. It's also got an external speaker cabinet socket on the back. Now what you think is, oh, well actually what happens if I turn the gain up to full? And turn it down. Got a little bit of a wasp and a jam jar thing going on. It's not bad though. That's the gain at full and the volume just at less than half. See, it's got that sort of going on. Bridge pickup. Yeah, so I think maybe these pots are really old because they seem to have all their travel, or the volume and the gain seem to do pretty much nothing up to about half and then seem to start, so and that's it. It's still a wee bit gainy, yeah. This guitar does have quite powerful pickups, neck pickup. And the problem I found is I normally use the wee Laney there in the corner. And recently actually I've been using that wee 5 watt PV that's in below the laney. They're both tube amps, so this is solid state and it's old style solid state. So I think, well, decent clean sound. Solid state can do a decent clean sound. I'm fine with that. So all my pedals that are on the floor there, none of them are on just now, are used to using the valve amps. So when I put on my US Dream pedal, suddenly it sounds awful tinny and not very good. It's also much more distorted. That's my not very distorted pedal. It's kind of more like a sort of mild overdrivey type thing when I'm using the valve amps, but on this one it seems to turn it into, and that's the neck pickup, so the bridge pickup will be even brighter. Maybe I think if you're into early Metallica, maybe that's the one. That's not early Metallica, I don't know any early Metallica. So I put in a fuzz pedal, which I like to use as well. That's really sharp. So it's kind of, it's like an old school technology thing. I mean, I just think the day of this kind of app's really sort of passed. Because I mean nowadays, I don't know, when even like the wee Blackstar ID Core 10, I've got ID Core 20. I think it's only like £100 amp or something like that. And it sounds miles better than what this can do, unfortunately. It does actually have quite a nice clean sound. It's just because it's got two relatively big speakers in it. So to have it, we're sticking the drums are coming through the bass amp. So I'm sticking a bit of a backing track. What's the third chord, that one? So I really want to turn on the bass and turn on the drum, I think. Actually, it's made quite a big difference just taking off that, turning the treble down a little bit. On the distortion pedal again, this is a Joyo US Dream. It won't be quite as wasping a jam jarry. Yeah, okay, basically disregard the first bit. You just want to turn the treble down a bit, the bass up a bit, and it down. No, let's not turn the mids down, turn the mids up. Don't really get the glory of the look of this guitar, but adjust the light a bit. Ah, you can see the guitar a bit now. First pedal, which was a heavy metal one. So I've kind of flipped my thoughts round from the start. I'm a tube snob, so it's like you're never really going to convert me to solid state anyway. But I mean, it's alright. So my main criticism, I suppose, would be I normally like to turn on an amp, but it's like, see when you just put all the knobs at 12 o'clock, I want it to sound good. This one, I had to kill the treble. Not really that much. But then again, that could be something to do with the age of the pots or something like that. But when you kill the treble on it, that my ears are just getting used to it. Real reverb. Nice and noisy the way real reverb is. Actually, I see it's got a low input on it as well. I wonder what that does. I'd imagine it's just going to be quieter. Assuming it works. I've not actually checked. Yeah, at least I know different. That sounds like a dirty input jack, doesn't it? Probably find that whoever used this amp previously was only ever using the high one, so just by the friction of the lead going in and out, it's kind of kept it a bit clean. The low one's probably dirty, but that's sounding not bad. You get one again. So I mean, really, the clean sound's actually really pretty good, isn't it? It's really just when you run the distortion through it, it seems to cheapen it very much. I mean, these are by no means expensive pedals I'm using, but I might have a wee go. I wonder if that's something to do with the speakers. So I'll just please 2 seconds. Any normal person would edit this out, but I'm not going to, because I've still got the speaker lead for this 3x12 sitting here, so I can just stick that in. Makes it reach on this side. External speaker's got a headphone socket on it as well. Yeah. So now it's coming through the 3x12. I'm just wondering if it'll make much difference to the sound. Maybe the speakers are distorting. So. Yeah, I've got the distortion on. It's still much more distorted than what I would normally get at that pedal. Okay, so it does sound better through 3 12-inch speakers, but to be fair, even if those speakers were the same quality, as the cabinet, the 3x12. 210s isn't as good as 312s. More is more, more is better. So it's always going to be, but it's not a huge jump. I think it's just maybe just get a little bit of, it doesn't, when you push the power amp, the preamp section of a valve amp, it's a little bit more compressy and a little bit more forgiving and a little bit warmer and nicer than when you do that with a solid state amp. So you maybe see one of your modelling pedals would maybe do an awful lot better through that, because I'm kind of running these pedals. Okay, the pedal is driving it, but quite a lot of that is just the fact it's just boosting the volume, which is making the preamp tubes compress a bit, or making them drive, which is much nicer. It's the same kind of principle of, but not anything like as bad. Remember when we used to record cassettes and you could have like the VU meter, when you had it in the red, the cassette didn't necessarily sound that bad, whereas if you do that with a CD or something, it's pure hideous. Nothing like that amount of difference, but similar sort of things going on. Yeah, so give 2 seconds and we'll disconnect this and end up. But I mean, yeah, it's fine. Basically, I think, to be honest, it's the sort of thing you find in a skip in it, really. I don't think it's the sort of thing you're going to be, you know, seriously considering this against a modern amp. But it's certainly got the weight. But there's the logo there. It says custom sound in cool 70s computer writing. Reminds me of Space 1999. So this model is a close back cabinet. Oh, it's a TR4/5C handling RMS 45 watts. So it's a 45 watt, made in England, Shropshire, Arthur Street, Shropshire. So it's a British, for the British sound you need a British amp. There you go. One thing it does concern me a little bit when you find something as you look at it and see this screw here isn't fully screwed in, which makes me think someone's been in it at some point, but that could have been just to change a fuse. So now it works. I will screw that back in again. So yeah, custom sound solid state technologies. It's fun. I'm not really a big amp guy. I mean, I know I've got 3 sitting there just now, or 2, and 3 including this one. I've got 2 bass amps, a sort of small in the house bass amp and a massive gigging bass amp. Same with my guitar amps, which you can't. It's heavy enough, but for only 45 watt. I've got a gigging guitar amp, and I've got like one for the house, and then I've got one that I just bought recently, just as a bit of a curiosity to see what it was like. I don't have lots of amps. I've got lots of guitars. I know a lot of people have rooms of amps. Says Malco standing in front of a wall of amps. I mean, that's justifying it by saying massive bass amp, small bass amp, big guitar amp in a cabinet, small guitar amp for the house. That's not too many. That's for the 7 guitars I own. I don't own 7 guitars. I think you can probably see 7 guitars, 3, 4. Oh, you can only see 6. No, and the one I was playing. Yeah, so I've only got 7 guitars. Rock on. So custom sound. I don't know. It really just comes down to price. What you could do with it. If you really want to play clean, I think it's all right. And even in the house, it's like, it is nicer having like slightly bigger speakers because it's got the 210s in it. So for in the house, you get a little bit more niceness to it. I don't think it's really gigging. It's a gigging amp these days, not when you're looking at what modern things can do, and also just for the fact of carrying the thing about. I mean, you get amps this size now that are 100 watt, you know, and this is 45, but it's not 45 modern watts, I don't think. I think maybe one of your wee Marshall MG 30s or something would absolutely knock the pants off this, but that's just because this is from the 70s. And I suppose maybe if you're after a unique sound, kind of going along the line of H&H amps, which I used to play, my first band, I used to play through 2 H&H amps, put a bass through them. They do have a sound, and they're good for like the Buzzcocks used them and stuff like that, so it's kind of that. sort of vibe, maybe not so much what the music I like, you know, the Black Sabbathy, Led Zeppelin thstuff, where they did expensive amps, whereas the sort of punk bands, it might be quite a good wee punk amp. So there we go. So this is a custom sound, probably the only the video on YouTube, because I'd never really heard of them. I don't know. I mean, these things will be handmade, and you can start saying, "Oh, hand wired." It will be hand wired, I would imagine. And it's, I don't know what I'd imagine. It probably maybe it says in below these metal. See, I don't know what you call those things. Kind of like dyno labels. The gain and the bass and stuff on them. There's obviously some sort of machine you got to stick them on. So maybe the original lettering came off or something. But yeah, so from the heyday of the 70s, when you play in pubs and you didn't have a PA to play through, you would just be playing through this, and you would just have it probably up at full bung. I'm playing rhythm guitar, and it'd probably be pretty good for that. Oh. So I don't know when this video's coming out, but rock on!